good afternoon, and thank you for joining us here live from the 802 Scoop, Inside Scoop Studio, North Main Street in Barrie. Today we have a special guest in the studio with me, Mr. Sam Fisk, joining us to talk to us about your son, Kris.
Yes.
Who this is the 1-year anniversary.
It is.
Of his passing. But we're going to talk about the good parts of this and what has come about, what your plan is, and some great things happening in Kris's memory.
Absolutely.
And so thanks so much for joining me on a day that I'm sure is tough. And tough, but when you can tell a little bit of good about it as well,
Absolutely.
It's got to help a little bit.
Yep, sure does.
Just a little.
Yep.
So thank you so much for joining
Well,
me.
thank you for having me
today. So welcome.
Thank
we'll
you.
let you introduce yourself to everyone.
So my name is Sam Fisk. My son had a heart transplant a year ago and never made it out of the hospital. So he went in the hospital in December of 2023 and had his heart transplant. I believe it was March. It was March of 2024 because he didn't leave the hospital after he went in. And he didn't make it. He made it through surgery. The heart was perfect that they had gotten for him. But he ended up with some other complications after the surgery. So he ended up passing away. I actually got the call Easter Sunday last year that he wasn't going to make it. So April 2nd, a year ago today, we disconnected the life support and we let Kris pass away. So what I'm doing now is I'm starting a memorial motorcycle ride, because what I want to do is anybody else that's going through this, any families that are going through heart transplant, I know firsthand, my family knows firsthand, the financial struggles, especially when your family is at a hospital far away. My son happened to be at Strong's Medical Center in Rochester, New York, is where he had all of his stuff done. So what I'm trying to do is pull together some money, do a benefit to help support other families that are going through what we all went through a year ago. So that's what I've gotten started. What it's going to be is it's a motorcycle memorial ride.
Highway to Heart.
Highway to the Heart is what it's called. So I've got a place where it's going to happen. Everything's going to take place at the Den in Williamstown. And I really want to thank the owner of the Den.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful guy.
Jeff's a great guy.
Jeff's awesome. You know, he came through for me in a really big way. So the ride itself is going to leave the Den. We're going to take a right on Route 14 and a left on 64, go up over the hill, drop down onto the Northfield side, take a left on Route 12, follow Route 12 into Randolph, take a left on 66, go up over the hill, drop down over onto, I think it's East Brookfield side.
Yeah.
And then a left on 14 back to the Den, where there will be a meal prepared by the Den for this ride. 50-50 raffle, silent auction. Going to try and put together some bands, kind of do like a battle of the bands type of thing. Should be a good time. We're going to just try and raise as much money as we possibly can. I've got a recipient for this year's money. His name is Matt, and I just want to get his last name correct. It's Rikert, R-I-K-E-R-T. So him and his wife live in the South Royalton area, and Matt right now is on the heart transplant waiting list to go to Boston and get a heart transplant. So even if you don't have a motorcycle, come out anyways. You know, you can still have the meal, pay for the meal. We're going to have t-shirts for sale. We're probably going to do some tank tops, which is being prepared by Valerie at Yipe Stripes, another wonderful person that I've met while I've been in the middle of this process.
Yes.
So my big sponsors right now is the Den and Yipes and you, Raylene, here at
Honored to
802
do
Scoops.
it. Honored to do it.
Yeah, so we're just looking forward to a really good day. And like I said, just come out and have some fun.
Yeah.
Let's get the motorcycles out there. Let's ride. Let's, you know, that's my big thing. My son was a motorcycle enthusiast. Always had been his whole life. So if I can just put together this huge ride and we're going to do it year after year. And we're going to get a new recipient every year.
Yep.
You know, somebody worthy of having these funds that is just struggling. Just try and loosen that financial burden. And I hate to use the word burden, financial struggle, just a little bit. You know, if I can save them just a little bit, then I would feel so much better about it. And this is all being done in my son's honor.
Right. To be able to do that into Chris's memory is a big deal. It's a way for you to continue carrying it.
It's huge.
Right with you.
It's huge. And I just found out that if my son was still here, he would become a grandfather this year. His son and his girlfriend are expecting. So.
Yeah. Pretty special. And again, it's, but it's a lot to take in.
It is.
It's a lot to swallow. We're not supposed to bury our kids.
Absolutely.
And I will never pretend to understand or to, you know, all I can do is be supportive of you.
Yeah.
And not say, you know, that I know how you feel, because I don't. I cannot fathom. Yeah. But I think it's truly awesome that you are, you know, that you've put this together and that this is, you know, how you've decided that you're going to carry your son with you is by helping somebody else.
Yep.
And I've heard through the grapevine, since I started talking about this myself, how wonderful Kris was and what a big heart he had and just what a really good person he was. So it's awesome that you're honoring him in this way. For sure.
Yeah, I was going to try and do this last year.
You and I talked.
We did. But with him just passing away in April of last year, it changed my life. It changed my life. But there was no way I was going to be able to put it together last year. Because I had to take some time and kind of sit back and go over how I wanted it to happen. You know, how I wanted to do this. And I just think it's going to be awesome.
I think so too.
You know.
Can we talk a little bit about what happened, just to kind of give everyone an idea of what Kris went through? You and I talked about it before, just so that people have an understanding of how it all came about.
Yeah. So he was in congestive heart failure, and he was in congestive heart failure for years and years, but it was controlled by medicine. But as Kris got older, his heart just kept getting weaker. He ended up going in and having to have a pacemaker and defibrillator put in his chest. And then it got further than that. He ended up having an LVAD pump put in to his chest. And basically what an LVAD pump is one side of Christopher's heart wasn't working. Like it had just been, we're done, you know. So what the LVAD pump was a battery pack that he had to carry that basically pumped the left side of his, I think it was the left side of his heart. So the LVAD pump would pump it for him, so the heart didn't have to do anything. And then it got progressively worse. And they were actually, at one point, they were talking about putting a second LVAD pump in to pump the other side of his heart. But then they realized that that was not going to work, at least not long term. So that's when he ended up going in the hospital in December of 2023.
And he was on the transplant list that whole time?
Yeah. So there are certain criteria that you have to, in lifestyle changes that you have to make in order to be on a heart transplant list. One is you can't smoke cigarettes. You can't chew tobacco. You can't drink. You know, and you got to eat differently, and you got to, you know, because they want your body to be right for the transplant.
Right, you need to accept it.
Correct. Correct. So my son did all of that. I mean, he quit smoking cigarettes, he quit chewing tobacco. Didn't have to worry about the drinking because that wasn't an issue. But anyways, so his body didn't reject the heart or anything. The heart that they gave my son was a perfect heart. Like, they said as soon as they put it in him and hooked it up, it started beating right off. Like, that's how strong that heart was. But he had other medical issues, like he had severe asthma, so he had lung issues. And he ended up with a very high level of ammonia in his body after the transplant. So that's what ultimately ended up, that's what he passed from. So Easter Sunday of last year, I got the call from my daughter that there was no brain function with Kris, because they had done all the studies and everything, and they're just nothing was working. So even before we had them shut off his life support, he was already gone because there was no brain function. Yeah, but Kris was just a great guy. He was a great kid to raise. You know, all of my kids were just awesome.
Our kids definitely are. And again, to share his story and to do this is a really big deal.
It is.
I hope with all my heart that we have a kick-ass turnout. I mean,
Me
it's
too.
in July 19th. Perfect.
Great time of year.
Weather riding. The ride is beautiful.
Yep.
It's, as you say, no city.
Yep.
No dealing with the lights and the,
Yep.
waiting to cross this
Absolutely.
huge line of traffic or anything. It's just a really peaceful, beautiful ride. It's when you told me the route, I was actually really excited. It was a route that I used to do with a good friend of mine on Sundays, and I think that'll be awesome.
Yeah,
awesome
get you
ride.
out in some of the back country of Vermont, you know, in central Vermont. And let's just have a great time.
Yeah.
You know, and if somebody wants to donate, but they can't be there, they can either get a hold of you, Raylene, or me, and I'll give you my email address and all that stuff before I leave here. Yeah. Let's just have some fun.
And I have your email. I'll make sure to, put it out there for people too. But, and people can, there's going to be a silent auction. So if you have something that you want to contribute to donate to the silent auction, if you're a business that's listening, or maybe you're not a business, but you're just a neighbor or a community member and you want to purchase something to,
or you do crafts.
Right. Make a part, right. Crafts or anything. If there's something that you can offer, I am going to give you a gift card for an advertising package, so somebody could.
Cool.
Another business could, buy that potentially to advertise their business.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very
here
much.
with me, so we'll give you that here, and but so anybody can contribute. The auction, the meal. And there'll be other things going on there that day, like you said, the band and stuff. So the kickstand's up at 11 o'clock.
11 a.m.
on July 19th, which is also perfect. It's not super early.
Nope.
Giving it a little time for the, if there's any dew on the road, that's all burned off, whatever. And
Absolutely.
And it's starting to warm up. And if it rains,
We're going to go anyways.
Cliff Flurry says, "Can I ride on the back of your hog, Sammy?"
Who said that?
Cliff Flurry. Leave it to Cliff, right?
I know, right?
Hey, honey. I love that guy. He
Cliff's
is
a good guy.
one of my most favorite people in the whole wide
Cliff
world.
grew up with my kids.
He did.
He did. They all went to school together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of my most favorite people in the whole world.
Yeah. Cliff's a good guy.
He is. So, but I don't know. I can't picture the two of you together on a bike. I'm just not.
Anytime, Cliff.
I'm not sure about that one. But goodness gracious, leave it to him.
Yeah.
But we hope that no matter what, that you'll show up for this event.
Absolutely.
And hang out with us.
And like I said, even if you don't have a motorcycle, come anyways. Come in your car.
Yeah,
I don't
come
care.
in the car, because you
Just
don't
come on
have
up.
to go on the ride.
No.
You can hang back at the den.
Absolutely.
I'll be there. Other people will be there. There'll be
Yep.
plenty of stuff going on.
Yep.
There's pool tables, cornhole, ring toss. There's all kinds of stuff there happening all the time anyway. Of course, great drinks.
Yep.
The music will be going, whether it be band or just
Right.
the overhead until everything starts. But
Yep.
come, hang out, have a good time. And so are you going to do two different prices? So like if you're going on the ride and doing the ride and the meal, or are you just doing one price no matter what you do?
No,
Do you know yet?
there will be two different prices. One will be if you're going on the ride, so it'll be the ride plus the meal. Or if you're coming in your car and you're doing just the meal, it'll be a different price, which I will get those to you within the next week. I just need to get together with Jeff from the den
right,
again.
figure it all out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now you showed me some really cool, I wish I had put the picture so I could put it up here. Some really cool things that you've gotten,
Yes.
like coins and
Yes.
different things like that you've gotten.
Yep. So
Can
everybody,
you tell us a little bit?
Yep. Everybody that goes to the event will get a coin on one side. Let me just pull it up on my phone here real quick.
Yeah. I knew you had sent it to me too.
Yep.
And they're really cool.
Yeah.
I really like them a lot. And we have some really kick-ass posters that are going to be hung too. So if you are somebody that wants to place a poster in your business, please reach out to me and let me know. I'll have those very early next week. Those will be in.
So on one side of the coin it says Highway to Heart, honoring Kris Fisk, and it actually has a picture of a heart. On the flip side of the coin it says First Annual Memorial Ride, and it's got on the center of the coin it's got a picture of my son Chris, and it says 12/22/1982 to 4/2/2024. I don't know.
Yeah, they're super cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So that's what the coin's going to look like. And then of course we got some, like I said, some t-shirts and some tank tops that'll be also for sale. So
Good.
it'll be perfect.
It will be perfect. And like I said, if you are willing to take a flyer, Cliff, maybe you could hang one at Vermont Quick Lube for us. That's where Cliff is working, Vermont Quick Lube and Car Wash in Southbury.
Oh, okay.
Right next to Wilkins.
Oh, okay.
So that's where Cliff is now. If you want to find him, hunt him down, and torment him a little bit, go ahead.
I will do that.
So maybe he could hang one there for us, and we'll just really get the word out, and
Yep.
people could share this show. We'll be talking about it. Maybe you can come back. Maybe we
Yep.
can even introduce the recipient. We
Yep.
don't, depending. We
Yep.
don't know. Maybe he's able to come in. Maybe he's not, or a family member.
Yep.
We can
If
do
he
that.
can't, maybe his wife can.
Yeah, prior to,
Yep.
just to introduce the family a little bit.
Yep.
And, we can really make sure that you and I talked about this. July 19th is not that far away. It seems
not.
like a long way away, but it's not that far
Yep.
away.
Especially when you're
So-
planning something like this.
Right.
That date will sneak up on you quick.
Yeah, so mark your calendars. We don't want to hear that, oh, I'm gone camping that weekend. No, I don't want to hear that shit. You're not gone camping that
got
weekend.
plenty of time.
That's right. You mark your calendars right now and you be at the den and be ready for kickstands up at 11. And if you don't want to be, if you don't want to ride, just be there by noon. That way you're there, you're situated, settled in for the meal and stuff and the rest of the festivities. And
Because the ride should take just about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's 43 miles, 43.3 miles, because I drove it with my Jeep a couple of weeks ago. And even then, a couple of weeks ago, it was beautiful going out through Brookfield and out through Randolph.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a nice ride.
yeah, you come back up over the Gulf. It's
Yeah.
nice. It is.
Yeah.
It's a pretty ride. So, yeah, is there anything else that you want people to know?
Not really. I just want to thank everybody that has pitched in to help me with this. You know, and again, my hat's off to Jeff up at the Den for helping me with the place to do this. And the Den was a perfect spot because he's got a big parking lot and he's got room for overflow. So if we fill that parking lot, we still got places to park
Oh
people.
yes. Oh yes.
So come one, come all.
Yeah, for sure. Plenty of room.
Yep.
Plenty to do. No matter what, there's plenty to do. Family event or adults only?
Family.
Family event.
You know, my kids, my grandkids, everybody will be there. So yeah, don't feel as though you got to leave your kids at home.
Yep.
Bring them.
Yeah.
Bring them. There's plenty to do.
Yeah, there is. And actually, I have a friend that does something special for kids. I'm going to talk to him after we do this and see if he can be there that day. I knew a guy who does the Nerf. Sets up the Nerf obstacle course, and
nice.
They use the word that you're not allowed to say on Facebook, or you get thrown out. Pew pews is what everybody calls them
Yeah.
now. But he sets up the courses and everything, and I've had him come to a benefit before, and the kids just absolutely love it. And it gives. If you do something like that during the auction time,
Yep.
it gives the kids time to give you a little bit of space so that everybody can hear what's going on. The kids are out doing their thing with those, going crazy with each other with those little pellets and whatnot. And we'll see if we can get him to come down. I bet you he will.
Sounds
I'm
good to
almost
me.
positive of it.
Perfect.
He loves to do stuff like that. So, good deal. And like I said, we'll have you back in here. We'll talk about this more, and we'll
Yeah.
make sure that we keep up so that nobody
Absolutely.
misses this.
Absolutely.
We're not giving them any excuses.
That's right. We'll get the information out there.
That's right.
We
So,
want everybody there.
absolutely. One more time, the recipient.
So the recipient's name is Matt Riker, and I hope I'm pronouncing the last
I
name
think you are.
correctly. So Matt is a 50-year-old guy, married, and between him and his wife, they have 7 children, ranging in ages from
holy shit to oh my God.
from 24 right down to 16.
Wow.
So they live in the South Royalton area. Matt's been dealing with a heart issue for many, many years, just like Kris did. He had a heart attack and then a stroke. And that's when they realized that his heart was bad and he needed a transplant. So he is on the list. He makes almost daily trips to Dartmouth for testing and whatever else he's got to go through for the heart transplant. Because every situation is different. You know, his situation's not exactly like my son Chris's was. But he is on the heart transplant, and he's just waiting for that call, saying that they got a heart. And as soon as he gets that call, he has to head right to, his is being done in Boston. So
Yeah, the time is short.
That's right.
I've not been in the situation where I've known somebody with a heart transplant,
Yep.
but a kidney transplant.
Yep.
And when they call you, And
You have just hours
right,
to get
they
there.
mean right now.
Yep.
It's time, and there's no waiting for
Yep.
stuff. So you literally, your bag's packed. It's almost
Yeah.
like waiting for the baby. When
Yep.
it's time, and
Yep.
you get there.
And he told his doctors this past winter, because I actually met with Matt and his wife Rebecca in South Royalton. He told his doctors, he said, down in Boston, he said, I live in central Vermont area, and we get a lot of snow. He said, what's going to happen if I get that call and we're getting a storm, or we just got a storm? They said, we'll send a helicopter for you.
Yeah.
We don't care. When you get that call, you got to get here.
Yep.
And
That
that's
actually
it.
happened to my
Yeah.
friend getting the kidney transplant. James.
yeah.
Yeah. It was storming that night, and that's what happened. They sent a copter for him.
Wow.
Yeah. And so,
That's amazing.
yeah, it was a hell of a storm too.
Yeah.
And that's what they did.
Yeah.
And same thing, he went down there as well. So,
Great.
okay. I think we got everything out that we could possibly get out there today. There will be a little more as we learn the bands,
Yep.
the food, the
Right.
mounts.
Yep.
There you can buy T-shirts,
Yep.
tank tops, whatever
Yep.
ahead of time. Those things are going to happen.
Yep.
And then buy them that day.
Yep.
There's
Yeah,
stickers.
so if you want a T-shirt, if you want to pre-order a T-shirt, and so with this being our first year of doing this, when I was talking with Valerie down at Yipe Stripes, she said maybe the best way to approach this for this year is to have people pre-order their shirts, or T-shirt or tank top, whichever one they want.
Yep.
So if that's the case and you want to pre-order a shirt or a tank top, give us your size. You can either get a hold of Raylene or myself, and again, I'll leave my email address with Raylene before I leave here. Or you can get a hold of me on Facebook. My name is Sam Fisk, and you can get a hold of me on Facebook Messenger.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely.
And I'm hoping to make this huge. Like I want to do this every year. And I just want to see it get bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah, I would love to see the same. And like you said, there's plenty of room, and
Yep.
it's always going to happen at the Den.
Yep.
So,
And it'll be the third Saturday of July every year.
yep. And so there's no, we will know that every year this is going to occur, and plenty of room, and we can always have more because plenty of overflow. There's an
Absolutely.
awful lot of room up there, and I'm just guessing that the pump would even share space if they thought they could be helpful.
I'm sure
because
Sam would.
It's just such, that community is amazing anyway. They just, they
are.
really are.
They are.
And so I can see where they all would jump right on board
Yep.
with this
Yep.
and support you in any way they can. So again, thank you so much for coming in. I look forward to doing this over the next few months and having a great time on July 19th.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me too.
Thank you, Raylene.
Thank you. Okay, guys, take care. I will be here tomorrow a couple times. I'll be back at 4 o'clock with Jeff Bergeron for our table talk at 4, and then at 7 with Michael Booten for the weekly wrap. No 4 quarters tonight. The ladies will be with you on Friday at 5:30 instead, just so that for the purpose of the games and the brackets and all of that good stuff that I know nothing about. So I'm not even going to pretend to know. I just know it's all about the orange ball right now. That's what I know. So they will be with you Friday night at 5:30. But prior to that, at 4 is, of course, the Vermont Daily Chronicle, Fridays at 4. So tune in. We will see you tomorrow, and have a great night.